Hello, my name is Nicholas Audrey Moreno, and I'm the author of Humans Are Amazing. In my book, I discuss that people should use both hands equally. Thereby, they'll build up their body and their mind. If you look at the population, most of the people are using their right hand, which doesn't make sense. You have two good hands. Why would you only use one hand? But that's what my book is mainly focused on, is this mystery, and asking if people use both hands equally, what would happen? Would we strengthen our body and our mind? Would we, in a way, evolve and reach a higher level that we've never achieved in history? Well, today's topic I would like to discuss is the fact that in the world, if you pay attention and examine, you will see that there are opposites to everything in the world, which is very weird. The world that we live in is composed of many opposites. For example, our body. Of course, our body has opposite sides. If you cut it right down the middle, you'll see that we're like mirror opposites of ourselves. We have a left side and a right side. These sides are not the same. If you look at the hands, our thumbs are on the out. If I turn my hand this way, the thumbs are on the outside, the index, the middle finger, ring finger, and pinky. They're opposites. They're like mirror opposites. You put it on themselves, they're not the same. They are opposites. The same goes for our eyes, our nose, nostrils, everything. Everything is as if it's going this way. And we're opposites. So, what's very curious also is that this hand, operation of this hand, is controlled by this side of your brain, this section. And this hand, your left hand, is controlled by the right hemisphere. And that happens at the coracoid spinal tract. So your brain, I encourage people to study anatomy, the anatomy of the brain and the anatomy of your body. Just take a lot of time and start studying what you're made out of and how your body works. The reason why I say that is because when you study this, you will see, yes, the brain hemispheres and the components, they're opposites. It's crazy. You'll see they are opposites and they come in pairs. These hemispheres, there's one hemisphere it's like shaped like that. Okay, and the other hemisphere is shaped like that. Those are opposites. They're opposite components. They are not the same. That's why, just as our hands, this side is shaped this way because it's controlling this opposite hand, and this side is shaped this way because it's controlling this opposite hand. We don't realize this because most of us never use our opposite hand. Never take the time to do it. Because nobody teaches you that. Well, there isn't anyone that's teaching us this. As a kid, have you ever been told or taught by some teacher, hey, you should use both hands equally to strengthen your body and your mind? That's not being taught. So, inside your brain, there are opposite components, right down to the brainstem, basal ganglia. These are components in your body. Your hippocampi, your amygdala. There are two sides to your brain. So they are opposites. In the world, which was my main topic, there are many opposites in this world. Here we go. I'll run down a list of opposites in this world that we do have to take into consideration. There's a sun and the moon. Those are opposites. The sun is bright, hot. The moon is not so bright, not so hot. The sun brings the daytime where there's light. The moon brings the nighttime, darkness. There's a man and a woman. Those are opposites. There's a hot and a cold. There's a up and a down. A left and a right. A old and a young. There's a happy and a sad. There's life, there's death. You're hungry, you're full. You're healthy, you're sick. You're bored, you're excited. there are so many opposites in this world that if you do stop to examine these things, you'll see, wow, there's almost two of everything. It's like this spectrum, and which even affects colors, because if you look at the color wheel, there are opposite colors. There's different shades on the color spectrum. So this is something that's very important that we should consider and examine. Why are there so many opposites? Why are there two things in this world and those things are opposite? So you got friends, enemies. You got solid, soft. In water, ice. Even our DNA strand. It's called a double helix because there are two strands in the DNA. And the DNA, it's actually, the codes are going, one is going, you could say down, and the other one's going up. So those are like a yin yang. If you study the DNA double helix, you'll see that one strand goes up or down, and the other one goes up. And then they twist to form one, just like our body. Our body's opposites to form one piece. So these are questions that I ask. I've been asking myself this for years. As soon as I started using my left hand, I started developing it, and then I asked myself, first of all, why are most people not using both hands equally? And another thing is, I noticed that I would think different. Normally when I'm right-handed, because I can't switch back and forth. So when I switch to being right-handed, I notice this. I think different. I feel different. My mind works different. And so when I use my left hand, again, I start to notice I feel different. With my left hand, I have a stronger memory. For sure, I have a stronger memory with my left hand. I don't need to think sequentially. Don't have to write things down so much. I have more of like a visual memory. I can just imagine a room where objects are in the room. I have this, my imagination increases significantly. And when I use my right hand, that's not so. When I use my right hand, I have trouble remembering. I can't visually remember something like a room. I can't imagine the room. That's when I started thinking, oh my gosh, there are two opposite components even in our mind. And those components are being triggered by our hands. Because as I said, our whole body is one united system of veins, arteries, nerves, muscles, bones, which are they all work together. So why are we only using half of our body? And if we use all of our body, would we become what we are intended to be? This being, I believe, will become more advanced humans. We have more energy, more intellect, more memory. Memory increases your intellect because you're able to store information and then retrieve the information. Like a computer. Computers, they function quick because they have the ability to store memory. And that memory is recalled. So therefore, after the memory is recalled, it's a bridge. You know, you reach a gap, you recall this memory, it gives you the data, you're able to progress. That's what we're lacking, is a strong memory. As many people have Alzheimer's, and that's because as you get older, your body starts to degenerate. But if we were using both hands, both sides of our body, would our brain, which is actually a muscle as well, would it become stronger and therefore increase our memory? That way we don't experience such illnesses as Alzheimer's. This can really help human beings because it's terrible. The loss of memory, these people can't function anymore. They don't have this ability to recall the data from the system. Therefore, they cannot progress and go ahead and continue their lives. They don't remember it's horrible. It's debilitating, extremely debilitating. This is the whole point of my book. There are opposites in this world. Us within ourselves, we have opposite sides. We should use both sides of our body to increase our strength, both physically and mentally. I encourage you to read my book, Humans Are Amazing, Discovering Your True Self. And I hope that we as a people, a race, progress, and we reach new heights that have never been reached before. Thank you.